Good luck, friends.
Good luck, friends. Yeah, this is great. I'm always rather refreshed when we have blood on the calls that's outside of the founders. Don't get me wrong, I love seeing Ben Jorgensen's face and Matthias, but seeing that I'm on about 400 phone calls with them every single day, it's fun to see some new blood in here. So I'm glad you guys are part of this.
Happy to be a
Well,
part of the show.
it also helps the community know that it's not an echo chamber. It's actually a reality.
Yeah, it is. Like, hey, that's right. We're not just in a vacuum doing our thing, which is good. Man, speaking of vacuums, I guess this is some pre-banter here. I got really into deep sea oil rigs, like how they construct them from an engineering perspective, and it's insane. There's this one that's so deep that the divers that go down to like construct the hull that holds this thing up, when they come up, they have to sit in a decompression chamber for like
I've actually
11
been in
days.
those. I did dive training. I've been in those decompression chambers. It's pretty
Yeah,
scary.
yeah, 11 days though. Could you
Oh
imagine?
no, not like that. That's intense.
Like I guess like quite a few of them like died and stuff. I mean, you'd have to have some serious hazard pay to get me. I wouldn't do it. Let's just get that out.
It's the highest vocational skills, the slurry divers and the undersea divers.
Is that like the same when you come back from space, or is it even longer? Because don't you have to do big decompression from space as well?
I'm not sure how the atmospheres work going that direction, but I know they're going in the ocean. They're every 33 feet is another atmosphere.
Gross. No thanks.
So at 3 atmospheres, or at 100 feet, basically, there's something that the hydrogen gets pressed in your blood, and then you end up or nitrogen, excuse me, gets compressed in your blood, and you end up with nitrogen narcosis.
Is that the same as the bends?
Well, no, the bends would be if you're coming up, the nitrogen narcosis is getting pressed down.
Oh, okay.
You strike me as one smart cookie, Cody. I feel like you know all sorts of weird stuff, and I'm not saying that's weird, but
well, it's just it's interesting, especially in this field. You'd be like, huh, you did all that too.
Well, let's get started. Well, we have a lot to get through today. I want to give you guys all a chance to have as much time as possible. So I am diving in. Hello, everybody in the Constellation community. I am Benjamin Diggles, the Chief Strategy Officer and co-founder at Constellation Network. I'm sure you know who I am or have seen my face in the past. And I'm very happy today to be presenting to discuss the flight program, or our accelerator, if you will, the progress within, and showcase 3 companies that have been so bold to raise their hands and say, yeah, we're interested in some early exposure here, which I know is an interesting thing to have to make a decision because, some people like to be stealth, some people are protective of their IP. And so I'm really proud of these companies that all already have significant momentum in their own right outside of the accelerator, looking to expose that. But that said, we're going to dive in and keep moving here because we have a lot to get through. So those that don't know, we kicked off a flight program roughly around the beginning of July, and it's the first of its kind for our company. And it's a little bit different than some of the other incubators or accelerators you see in the space, because this one's really largely predicated on HGTP, but also it's a much different learning experience than some of these other academies, if you will. So I am going to read this, even though I know reading slides is kind of lame, but the purpose of the flight program is to strategically guide businesses or individuals looking to build blockchain, cryptocurrency, or decentralized applications on HGTP. And during this, we attracted over 75 companies, and we qualified them down using our pod leads to 35 companies to join the program. And we're 9 weeks into the 13-week interactive program. And once we're finished, we'll be evolving the program based off the learnings and feedback. We already have some really good ideas of what we're going to dive into. There's a reason we haven't been exposing this stuff very largely throughout Hypergraph Hours, Twitter, and so forth, because we do want to protect the IP and the names of the companies. This isn't a way for us to just shill out projects and show what's happening, but rather really guide these folks through the process. And for those that have followed what we've done with, Alchemy as an example, please take a chance to look at their Hypergraph Hour episode 27, so you can see kind of what the example is of a successful incubated project looks like. We took them as a way to just show that we have the sea legs to do this, and then open this up to a broader cohort of, like I said, 35 companies. And the way it worked is companies would submit their project, we qualified them, we're really bringing forth our whole ecosystem to the table with the total focus on a token launch within Lattice Exchange. So I did want to highlight the curriculum for those that may have not seen it in the past. Like I said, we got 35 active projects in a 13-week program, the first version of this accelerator concept. And it's really made up of 3 major sections. One being kind of the blockchain business and technical approach. The second being the token economics and how you're really formalizing that strategy. And now we're moving into kind of the fundraising, go-to-market, and really what I would say is one of the most important pieces is community and social building, which is very exciting, and that's taking place this week. We are concluding it with a light certification test so that all those that come out of this feel like they really got their hands around it. And I will say that the focus of this is predicated on these folks really nailing down a killer white paper with a strong go-to-market token economic strategy. And I couldn't be more pleased with the progress we're seeing thus far. So with that, like I said, I don't want to waste too much time and I want to hand this over. We're going to go ahead and start off with Finnovant. And even though I've only given 15 minutes to each of these companies, we are going to have 3 presenters from this team. I'm a big fan of these guys. I've been talking with them prior to them joining the accelerator, had quite a few different calls. They're in the biometrics space, which I've consulted projects in the past, and I find this to be one of the most promising, if not the most promising, when it comes to really the myriad of use cases that it can be applied to. We're even looking at it as for use cases within our core ecosystem, our core product development of how this can be utilized within things such as Stargazer and other cool solutions like Lattice and the DeFi ecosystem. So I also understand that the telegrams below might be hard to write down or see, or there's no way to copy and paste them. Just know that at the end of this, we're going to be following this up with a punch list of who the companies were, what the presenters were, and how to get involved in their projects from a community perspective, because these are all projects much like Alchemy that have a trajectory towards a token launch and really making a strong impact in the market. So with that, I would love to hand it over. I think, Chris, you're up first. So if you want to go ahead and share your screen, we can dive right in.
Can you hear me, Benjamin?
Yes, we can, Brian.
Yes, we can.
Oh, great. Yeah, Benjamin, thank you so much for the opportunity to speak at the Hypergraph Hour event today. My name is Brian Moss, CEO of Finnovant. We are a blockchain technology corporation. And when we think about the blockchain and decentralized finance, or DeFi, we get very excited because this industry is accelerating rapidly and it is helping so many people. Our team is very excited to work with Constellation while being part of their accelerator flight program to help bring the biometric financial project, or BioFi, and its amazing ecosystem to life. The BioFi ecosystem is available through an online portal that contains a family of secure products, which are easy to download and activate and simple to purchase. We would like to thank Constellation and especially Benjamin and his team for assisting the Finnovant team in so many ways and with all of the mentoring and support to make this happen. Finnovant itself is focused on enabling people to learn, design, and create blockchain solutions that have the potential to make a lasting impact around the world by improving the data security and validation for the common person. Our entire team brings top-tier experience from the worlds of blockchain, crypto, mobile, tech, innovation, and a host of other important emerging technologies. We actually care about your security and believe in the basic human rights of freedom to control your environment and empower the individual with security of decentralization and ways to better safeguard privacy of your information. Our team at Finnovant is uniquely skilled to deliver BioFi to market with the highest quality and reliability. In fact, we have already developed and deployed several products for the BioFi ecosystem, including SayTech, our face and voice biometric solution. SayTech can operate on your personal device through a standard web interface and on Web 3.0, which you'll see soon from Cody on the Governor DAO website. These products are currently available in the global market and downloadable from Google Play and the Apple App Store. These products highlight the passion and dedication from our team to help build the trust in our abilities to deliver excellent products to market, and we know you'll love them. We will mention this again at the end of the session, And please visit our website to learn more at Finnovant, www.finnovant.com. Thank you so much for your attention today, listening to this amazing BioFi project. And we look forward to continuing our dialogue with you, especially as we launch the token in the market. Next, you're going to hear from Cody Dyer, our Director of Blockchain Innovation, followed by Chris Benedict, the Chief Revenue Officer. Thank you so much.
Hey, how's it going, guys? My name is Cody Dyer. I'm the Director of Blockchain Innovations over here at Finnnovant, as well as the co-founder over at Governor DAO. Starting my crypto journey in 2014, I've gone from passionate observer and investor to working hand in hand with some of the most rapidly emerging projects in the blockchain space, including Chainlink Labs. Now I'm very excited to be working with Constellation Network. I'm actively trying to change the world, and that's what I think led me to Benjamin Diggles. I've been investing since DAG since under a penny, and unrelated, found myself getting into some serious conversations about state data security, which led me to a Constellation Services webpage, which led me to my one-of-one LinkedIn message trying to reach out to Benjamin back in March. We did a presentation and showed him the demo, and he was like, I'm in. I don't know what I'm in for, but I'm in. So we've been here soaking up the flight program. We're so happy to be working with DAG and building on the Hypergraph protocol. We're hoping to see some love from the Lattice Launchpad when we do our public sale. And we've been working closely with Konami. We love Jim Burke from over there. He's an absolute wealth of knowledge. We're very interested in OmniShare, the data fabrics, and the meta networks, and the system of systems that comes with it. And I believe the state channels are just the beginning of opening a new authority in data access and security. We think the light nodes have an enormous potential especially in tandem with data fabrics. The black box product interfacing and offerings are components to the Constellation Lego Constructor Kit. Amplifying on cross-chain liquidity and really circulating value, beginning our liquidity generation on Ethereum and then bridging over to layer 0. Right now, personally, I believe we're living in a digital and network renaissance. And more important than what network is being used is the underlying processes that are orchestrating that distributed ledger tech, and the projects and products that are building on top of those networks. And that's the basis for the network renaissance, especially as it increases the rate of adoption on these emerging blockchain technologies. We exist in a living human meta network, coexisting on top of thousands of years of documented developing society, and over the last 100 years, the most rapidly evolving technological age. And we're on the cusp of a transition of technology outpacing our very record of its evolution. It took an approximate 70 years for 100 million people to use the telephone, but only 3 months for 100 million people to play Candy Crush. This suggests an outpacing of the new age technology at the fundamental core of its access and utility. This is well represented most recently in the explosion of digital currencies and decentralized finances, as you're well aware, and securing these digital assets on the blockchain that revolve around scarcity, consensus, and utility, which speaks to an era of interoperability, scalability, and regulation. It's estimated over 25% of traffic on the internet is malicious bots, and utilizing a proof of reputable observation consensus mechanism acting in, say, a biometric endpoints. If we could confirm every endpoint in the consensus mechanism, hypothetically, in a voting environment where every node or access point was an individual voting, that network could affirm its own validation. Now, I've authored a product called the Proof of Existence token, utilizing biometrics and blockchain technology to prove an individual is unique while still keeping them anonymous, proving you are who you say you are and your action is your action. And this is a layer that can be interfaced in any real world DeFi or NFT solution. And now if Chris will give me the opportunity, I'm going to go ahead and just share a quick demo on just showing you how easy it is to authenticate these products within your work stream. So this is our proof of existence portal, and being able to just a quick enrollment, you're actually going to see me drop off video for a second here while I queue this up.
I think we lost audio with you, but we still see your face. I could try to translate.
Yeah, Cody is repeating.
So what you're seeing there is I actually had to shut off my voice and audio because you can't, it won't record the data while you're in a video share or a screen share. And for example, if you're on your phone, it wouldn't be able to record your voice or anything else just in case any other devices were listening to it. So it's literally just that simple. It's authenticated just like that. And this is something that's just another layer that can be added to this blockchain puzzle. And I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen and allow Chris to go back to that. And I just wanted to, with Governor Dow, we have the first biometrically authenticated telegram, and utilizing blockchain and proof of existence have done the first biometric authenticated NFT sale, selling 100 unique NFTs to 100 unique users. And especially in the Constellation Network and within the state channel, securing a need to know, or a proof of need to know. This can be, which can be interfaced with any other actively working products that are, and already with other products that are working around the globe. And now thank you guys so much for letting me have some time to speak to you here. And I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Chris.
And Chris, you're on mute.
Thanks, Cody. Thanks, Brian. Thanks everybody for joining us today. That was a pretty cool piece of tech that Cody just demonstrated. And I know he went through it fast, but go check it out, on the Governor Dow website. You should definitely take a look at it and see how you can do a unique identification of yourself that's KYC free. You can still remain anonymous in that particular case. So what that demo does, it demonstrates a couple of pillars that we see in the BioFi ecosystem as it evolves. The first is control, and the second is security. In that particular use case, as a user, you control who has access to your biometric data, and it is only used for authentication. It's never used for anything else in that particular use case. So the biometrics can secure the access, no one else can get in, because there's only one you, only one voice and one face that's yours. We all know how big tech can monetize your personal data and personal information, make a lot of money off of it. But we believe that you as the owner should be the only person who controls when that information is used, when and if it's monetized. And if it's monetized for your individual benefit. On the security side, you can't overstate security enough. I know I'm talking to the right crowd, and everybody agrees with that. But when you look at the types of fraud that are on the rise, account takeover fraud is one of the big ones. And fraudsters continue to get more and more sophisticated with things like intercepting single-use passwords or social engineering. Once they get a hold of your important logon information, anybody can use it until you figure out what's going on. The solution for that is biometrics. In our opinion, if you put biometrics in where ID and password exists today, there's just no way that anybody can defraud you. There's only one you, one face, one voice, that's it. No one else can pretend to be you in a situation like that. One last quick comment on control is that one of the tenets behind the BioFi ecosystem, and this is why we really feel we meld well with the Constellation crew, is that they're interested in bringing benefit to people and helping people make their own lives better and having control over that. We absolutely believe that in the BioFi ecosystem. We want to level the playing field in DeFi. We want anybody who has a smartphone to be able to take advantage of that evolving ecosystem and that evolving financial services suite and decide what they want, what's best for them to chart their financial future. So on the slide here, what you'll see is the initial solutions within BioFi are things that exist today. Brian mentioned SATEC, which is our voice and face biometrics. There's the Phoenix X1 phone that you see to the right there. That is the model that we're using for the mini node concept that we're developing that Cody mentioned. We have the Cryptic Wallet, which is a cryptocurrency wallet that we just launched. It's out in the marketplace. You can get it on the App Store or the Play Store today. We think it's the best one out there, so we'd love your feedback. Go ahead and download it, give it a shot, and let us know what you think. And the next one that's coming out, its imminent launch, is called UniSafeBox, and it's a blockchain-based password manager product. So that should be out, as I said, it's imminent. It should be out anytime now, so stay tuned for that one. But BioFi itself and the ecosystem is not just about Finnovant. I want to make that clear. We're doing this and getting the ball rolling, but we are actively looking for partners and partnerships to bring value and financial services into this space. Let me give you an example. We're having very active conversations with an insurance company right now. They have a real need to digitize their policies and their claims processes because they're all very paper intensive. And to them, taking all this paper, after all this time, they're still paper-based, if you can imagine. Taking all that paper and transferring it onto a blockchain type solution would be a huge win, both for efficiency and economics. So if you have a solution or know of a solution you'd like to bring to the ecosystem, please reach out to us. There's a lot of channels that we just spun up a few of them, but there's a lot of ways to get in touch with us. Telegram, Twitter, the website, and so on. Reach on out. We love having conversations. We love meeting with people to see where we can go and what kind of value we can bring to this ecosystem. So I'm going to wrap, but before I do, I just want to take a moment and say thanks to Benjamin, Ben, and the entire team at Constellation. This accelerator program has been a real joy to be part of. They're a great team. They can make things like tokenomics and writing a white paper actually be very interesting. So if you ever have the opportunity to work with them, I would highly recommend it. So that's it for us. If you have any questions, we really, really do encourage you to reach out. We'd love to chat with you. So Benjamin, thanks, and I'll turn it back to you.
Sounds great. Yeah, go ahead and drop your screen share there. Appreciate that, Chris and team. You know, when I saw this technology, I was blown away, and I noticed there was a lot of questions already popping up in the chat. You know, to Chris's point, let's start bringing those questions over to their team's channel so they can answer them direct, because the first thing I started doing is poking holes in what they had, and they were sewn up. Every area that I poked at, they were like, nope, this is how it works. And they showed me, I was like, wow, what if this could just replace that damn CAPTCHA thing? You know what I'm saying? I'm tired of seeing that thing. It's like, hey, pick out the sidewalk so we know you're not a robot by giving you an equation that a robot can crack. So I am sitting there thinking like, wow, what if you're going to send something using the Stargazer wallet, but you wanted that extra layer of security, or you wanted real deep security out of the onset that becomes foundational to the workflow? Like, there's so many use cases for this, and I'm so happy that they're a part of the accelerator. And one of the things that we do to determine those companies that we did pare this down to is, do they have the pedigree to really bring this over the finish line? Do they have that heritage? Have they been in some form of this business and successful without blockchain and token economics to make it even more complicated? And the answer is a resounding yes with this crew. So kudos to you folks. I really appreciate the presentation, and you did a great job. Mr. Adam, I am actually not going to share my screen, and this just so we're not bouncing back and forth to do your intro. So maybe you can go ahead and just share your screen. And as you're doing that, I want to tee you up. I met Adam through RGA. Those that don't know, they're one of the world's best digital transformation agencies out there. I was the entrepreneur in residence for their blockchain venture studio back in 2019, coaching a lot of companies through processes that really set me up for success to be able to be, I think, effective in this flight program accelerator. And I really bonded with Adam rather quickly, much like I did with the Finnovant team, because these guys really get something that a lot of folks don't understand. And I just raised my hand even before the accelerator happened and said, hey, is it cool if we just get on weekly calls so I can be a part of this? Because it got me so excited. So with that, I don't want to steal your thunder, Adam, but I just want to say that working with you and Chris, going back to what I said about Finnovant, these are gentlemen that have the pedigree and the heritage and understand how to do this stuff and are bringing this into this token world. And I'm just so thrilled that they're part of this accelerator. With that, you're up, Adam.
Appreciate that. Before I dig into all of the ins and outs of this, seriously, the presentation before me, kudos. I'm thoroughly impressed. This is going to be more chill, more esoteric, a bit more like agency style, but I don't want you to think that this doesn't have a lot of what that type of thinking had involved in it. But man, I just want to say thank you guys. That was amazing, and I would love to talk to you guys more about what you're working on. So with that being said, I'll start with myself. I played some professional sports. I'm friends with bands. Like I've kind of done a lot of things. And as I got older, I became, you know, high up in the tech world, post all of my career and all that other stuff, and broken fingers aside. And I was sitting inside the belly of the beast, which was the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. And like, so I was in the clearinghouse and I was seeing how the exchange was working. I was inside. And at the same time, I'm friends with bands and teams and stuff like that. I can get tickets to just about anything whenever I want. not trying to sound like I'm better than anybody, but that's just kind of the name of the game when you know people. But I was going to buy tickets to a show I wanted to see. And what was crazy was I was able to get the tickets, not a big deal. And I saw the tickets go from 40 to 400 in a matter of like 2 minutes. And I was like, this is not right. And so at that point, I was like, screw it. And this is in 2015. I was like, I'm just going to figure out how to build my own ledger, build my own company, and just wipe out the secondary market. And what's interesting is as I started to move into the digital advertising space and the disruption space, or the business transformation space, I started to realize that it wasn't a one-man show. And Chris and I went on this venture together. He and I started to build this out further. And then Rich Davey came on board from a previous agency that we worked at. And we've really put together a full-on product. And it's also a suite in which you can build products off of. And so just to give a funny backstory here, tons of people have wanted to put me in front of other people, and everybody, and Diggles probably knows the story here. Everybody says like, ooh, geez, this is a lot. You're doing a lot. This is I think everybody's like, maybe if you do like one thing out of this, we might talk to you. Constellation and Diggles and everybody was like, this is pretty cool. Are you excited? And I'm not going to lie to you. Everybody along the way, especially in Chicago, had been in this place of like, yeah, that's a big ambition. We're a little afraid of that. And how I knew Constellation was the right fit, not only were they doing what I envisioned with a larger team and a smarter team, but it was all the same reasons we were involved in what our solution was going to be, for all the same reasons that I just heard from Finnovant. Like it was like within the same mindset. And a partnership is, yeah, one part tech, one part solution, but it also has to be in an ethos. And so what encouraged me and everyone else on our team was the ability to tell us that like, yeah, your vision's big, but this is cool. Like, let's work it out together. And so that really helped us feel really great about coming into the program. And I just want to say like, thank you to everybody that at least has a belief in the vision. And now it's up to us to execute. So thank you for that. And I just want to start digging in. So we really do believe that in the product that we're building, that the fan or just the person in general is really wanting to be in control of their data and the experiences within that data, right? So, and going back to my initial example of ticketing, right? I was a person that wanted to go to a show and I saw it jump from 40 to 400. The product itself was being taken from me, and the price was being exaggerated so that somebody else could make money off of that product. And I was like, well, somebody would just build an equal playing field, then everybody would have a chance at that opportunity. And then as we started to evolve down the process, we started seeing that in our own lives in marketing science, data sciences, the way that brands interact with people, the way that we interact with loyalty, the way that we interact in a 5G situation inside of a stadium. All of the things that go into the marketing science and the data science to this, we see have a direct impact on products that can be built. So with that, the opportunity is bigger than the relationship is bigger than the opportunity. Like if I just go to one Cubs game, that's not as big as my relation to the Cubs. Or if I am a real big fan of like this type of car or whatever it is, there are bigger things than that. And we all know what our data is worth. I mean, it's the old saying, if you're not paying for it, you're the product. And we're moving, like everybody on this call doesn't need a history lesson on why we're on the call, or understanding tokenomics, or understanding how to get your foot in the door, or understanding like all these solutions. But there are people like my neighbors or my parents that are like, oh, slap a blockchain on it. They don't really know what is going on, right? So for me and for us and for Token, and I'll tell the Token story at the end, it's not on the nose on purpose. It has to do with arcades, but that's another story at the end. The ethos was there's going to be people that are bleeding edge, that know what's going on in the 5G space, that know what's going on in the tokenomic space, you know, I would shift them into the GeoJam. Like those are the type of users that are socially ready to rock and get it. Then there are folks that are like, want to test it out a little bit, maybe want to understand how it works. So the platform that we've built in the sciences behind it and the data are rewarding you for partaking, and you're getting the rewards in our token. But what we're doing is we're giving you the levers and giving you the single sign-on and giving you the tools to say, I don't want my data to go there. I want to keep it here, or it's cool if you share Coachella, etc. The other thing, as I'm clicking through, I want people to kind of keep your eyes and ears peeled. I'm not giving away any of the partnerships we have going on, but there are Easter eggs, and I will neither confirm nor deny any Easter eggs. So with that, I'm going to keep going. So we're here to, remember I said this was going to be more esoteric. We're thinking of a zeitgeist shift, and we're kind of sitting in the center of that. So we want, as the culture starts to shift, for people to have a place for them to understand that I'm aware of my data, I know how it's used, reward me for that data. In the old monolith, the fan is devalued, right? You know, like I said, if you're not paying for it, chances are you're the product. And that's what's been going on. And I think that this is the perfect time for our company to come into existence, and why I think that we had a lot of problems, because people were just like in that old monolith. But we all are heading towards this cultural shift, and we want to be that place where you can launch your products in more of that fan way off of, or back channel. It's like, for example, right? We know GeoJam, we know Alchemy. Imagine I'm a user, I'm a token user, I go to a lot of games, sporting events, maybe I like in an awesome world, Delta is set up to this, my points, all of that stuff is aggregated. I can pinpoint data to GeoJam in real time that can then strike off the appropriate digital advertising. Alchemy can get that data, and it's going to work in concert. And so the platform that we've built is a little, if you think about us as like the tangential constellation at the data science layer, we are working with edge compute, and through the venture studio in our RGA, we have a relationship with Verizon 5G and the stadium technology. So we're able to get into the POS, or as a user is going through a stadium, tracking them, seeing the outcomes, seeing what they're doing, trying to get a better understanding of their behavior. And as that user is going through the stadium or going through those 5G experiences, we're able to hash that data off, store it, and then as people will query that data, or as the stadium is using it, in real time, you can reward that fan for their participation in the ecosystem. And then all of the other people, the marketing people, the science people, all of these people that are trying to understand the IOB, the Internet of Behavior, are going to come to our platform to learn and grow with that user. So we built a single sign-on. You could use our single sign-on across all these entities if they so choose. And then that then blows out how a Coachella then could say like, oh, look at this person sharing their activity. They understand where they're going. They understand the places they've been, and they understand some of the other partnerships that we have, which then blows out into that same user could then go to an LAFC game, walk right in, and LAFC understands the dynamic of that fan and understands the type of things in that 5G stadium experience that LAFC has, that they just came from Coachella. These were the things that we've learned about them. And then we can give them the marketing science or the behavioral science behind who these people are. And then that then would go to a larger consortium of people, like of all of the LA teams or all of these different behaviors. And that those behaviors in that data set are going to help people say like, you know, like the GeoJam, like, yeah, we want to do an NFT wallet for this band. Maybe it's like signed posters are the thing. We can help guide people down that path with our IoT, IOB integrations and our integrations to that 5G edge. And we're also really truly doing that tribal call out. You've got tribal behavior that is not necessarily known. Like you have people that'll say like, I really like X, but based on the behavioral analysis, they may have an affinity towards another thing that they're not ready for. They don't know yet. So we have built out our own proprietary system in the back end around data science, marketing science, and then the behavioral sciences of the IOB meets IoT meets machine learning. And so we understand the true tribal behavior of people. And so if you think about this in its holistic form, you have all these different people. They're all their own node, right? They're all their own NFT. Everybody's non-fungible. Everything that you do throughout your day is a very non-fungible event, but it all kind of rolls up into all these different experiences. And then as you see the consensus throughout these experiences, we're able to store that data and then serve up and build products off of our suite powered by the Hypergraph. And so our first products that we're launching are going to be our single sign-on. We're, again, technology folks, so we're not like running down like we're going to build native this, native that, or build all this stuff, because we focus solely on the engine and solely on the platform or the software as a service end of this, so that we could build our own products off of it. We don't want to just sit there like a Salesforce and be like, here's our software as a service, come to us. We're actually going to build our products off of it, because we feel like we should be able to eat our own dog food, right? So we're building our SSO off of it. We're doing a PWA versus going down mobile development right away, because we want to test things out first, and we think that that's an okay thing, especially living in our world. And our big, I guess, cornerstone that we're doing is ticketing. We are going to put our foot down. We have a plan of attack, bands, venues, labels, people that are ready to test it. They want to see, can you really put a ticket down for $40 and nobody can subvert that or make money off of our product? And then can you keep fees down? Because that will add liquidity inside the venue. If I pay $400 for a ticket, I might be like, I'm not gonna buy a t-shirt, or I'm not going to engage with like eating or whatever. But opening this up to a place where it's fair from the start, and then as you go into that venue, maybe you're getting t-shirts, or if the platform's working appropriately, there are other deals or other things from Alchemy coming in saying like, go to Chipotle or whatever the case, right? There's all these things that can happen once you level the playing field. We're gonna, again, like all of us, I'm sure everybody's gonna have their own version of a wallet. We are focusing on creating our wallet for our ICO and our token. And there's a lot of talk around, there's a lot of tokens out there, but we also want to be the place where if my mom doesn't know what to do with all of these tokens, maybe she wants to, convert them into ours, or maybe we help them navigate all of this space, because there's going to be a million tokens, and then we're going to cause this kind of like rehashing of these siloed behaviors that people aren't going to know how to navigate. So we want to kind of help out in a more different way with our wallet. There's all this standard, table stake, NFTs, and all that stuff. We have a handle on that, and especially at being at RGA, we want to pitch recently. We just slapped together an NFT, minted it, and sent it to a guy's wallet. And it was like, that was the thing that won the pitch, right? So the NFT thing isn't like mind blowing, but it is a place where we think that we can do a lot of fun things, and we can also help other people do cool things. Because if we're going to start our corner in the ticketing space, we can blow out from ticketing outward and like really help recreate what NFT means for a certain archetype or a certain tribe. And then our MME, which is our back-end system with all of our, like I said, IOB meets IoT, all of those things with the AI and the machine learning, it's there, and we're just going to rev on that and keep things rocking. So really at the end of the day, I called it token out of the box because someone said, what's this crazy idea you have? And I said, hey, have you ever been at the mall when you were a kid and your mom gave you a couple bucks and you went inside of an arcade and you just threw the dollar in and tokens came out and you got to do whatever you want? You didn't have to like deal with the dollar. I was like, I'm just kind of nicknaming it this for now, because it's like the ability to take an idea or take like my money and like put it in a place where I want to engage with things is the ethos that I built it on, right? And funny enough, the reason why you use tokens inside of inside of an arcade is one, those tokens are made out of a different metal that won't degrade and it actually works every single time. Well, now you have cards, that's another story. And two, it's that model that gets you to come back. And so my idea was like level the playing field for just humans in general, do the right thing with their data and reward them for those things. And then that's all of our marketing sciences and all the stuff we're doing with their data. If anybody queries it, I'm giving you a point. And I'm going to keep going that way, because the idea here is to onboard the new generation of people that are learning, and that people that are already where we're at are going to be like, dip, yeah, let's do it. So, and then finally, my last slide here.
All right, you got 1 minute to bring her home, buddy.
This is it. I told you I had 50. I got it. This is it. Here we go. You can contact me, Adam at tknevents.com. That's our website. And then that's our Telegram channel. Appreciate your time.
Man, you rock. And stop sharing your screen when you got it. And Cyberlead, if you guys want to share your screen after Adam has shut it off, that's great. I do want to add a little color there. I think Adam is being a little humble. This guy works with the biggest brands in the entire world every day. He swims in this stuff, knows the systemic issues with what he's trying to cover. Like he said, the 5G stadiums, the dirty secret is that these things rolled out, but they're operating at a 1G capacity because we as users have gotten used to siloed data experiences, period. And you're starting to see a lot of things around exchange. You'll see Alchemy Exchange, a lot of the words exchange, because that's what companies like FanToken are creating, are net new exchanges of how to move data so that it impacts the end user experience. So I just wanted to mention that, and also just point out the different types of companies in this cohort. You had Finnovant, that's almost like less of an app and almost extended infrastructure that plays a role not only in FanToken, but so does Alchemy as well as GeoJam. So we're starting to see that cross-pollination of these efforts in a very meaningful way. Adam, you rock, buddy. I love working with you and I love your passion.
Thank you.
Speaking of passion, Cyberlead, these guys are massively passionate about their space. As they've said many times, this is a dream come true for them. I'm keen to this project because I attended, those that know, I love video games. They're one of my favorite things. But not to steal too much of your thunder, gentlemen, I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to you so you can kick off your presentation.
Thank you so much, Diggles. Appreciate you guys allowing us to be here in Hypergraph. My name is Jeff, and my partner is Stolte.
Hey guys, thanks. We want to shout out to the Constellation team and the flight program, and specifically our pod leads, because they've really broken it down in such a way that has made this real easy for us, and something we can visually kind of put together and put the pieces together just perfectly. Thanks, guys. Yeah, you guys put a lot of work in and made it very understandable for even someone like me. Want to go to the next slide, Jeff?
So what we're trying to say here is, like, what is Cyberlead? What are we doing? Like, what's the why? So Stolte and I, we've been playing in competitive gaming probably like combined 40 years, so 20 years each. And the issue is like, as we're competing in these games, the ecosystem, like, inherently is dishonest. There's a lot of malicious and dishonesty going on. So what we're trying to do is evolve, revolutionize esports, and to bring like a new light into it. And yeah. So do you have anything to say?
Yeah, that and the cheaters, man. There's so many people out there trying to ruin our gameplay. And so the thing that we're trying to bring, a big thing, is getting rid of these bad actors. I'm so tired of it. I'm so tired of putting 40 minutes into a game just to lose at the last minute because someone was able to fly through walls and shoot everyone instantly at the very last moment. It's kind of ridiculous. And what we're offering by KYC people, that's really going to knock off 50% of the cheaters right out the gate, if not more. Because once you cheat, that's attached to your name. You're not coming back onto our program. There's other gaming programs out there where all you got to do is create a new account, buy a new video game, you have a new username, and you go back cheating. You can go back to stealing, thousands of dollars from people who are not cheating. And this is something that we're seriously aiming to solve. And first step to that is just by enabling KYC. And not only with that, we're going to give the real important thing is the parental controls. So we're going to start off with 18 and over. We're going to work down. So say a child 13 or younger wants to play in a safe network, has a safe place to play. Their parents are concerned about who's on the other side of that screen. Well, on Cyberlete, you know who's on the other side of that screen. And if there's a person being super toxic, which I know a lot of gamers have seen, and the parent overhears that, they're able to get on their account and, report that problem and take care of something that may need to be taken care of. You go to the next slide, Jeff. And this is rolling into our tokenomics. We're creating an ecosystem for the gamers. So we want to secure the gaming network, and we're incentivizing the good actors or the good players. We're going to give them rewards. Elite tokens will be the rewards. We're going to host tournaments. We're going to do a league structure. Everyone does a tournament. Tournaments are kind of a rundown thing. You want to keep it solid, you need a league, something like a football league or something. Just every year you have these set seasons. And with that, we're able to create many different types of NFTs. It's like trophies. And these trophies will have different values, which will make them rare or not rare, and that'll kind of stake into us. You have anything you want to add to that, Jeff?
Yeah, and another big part of this tokenomics too is that we're making reward rails. So when we have these tournaments or leagues, they're smart contract funded, so they're automatically paying these players or broadcasters or streamers who are essentially right now being taken advantage of. They're not being paid. They have to wait 7 months. We're trying to stop that so we can, yet again, help evolve the scene.
So this is kind of where we're at now. We've created our website. We've got the user profiles, news. We set it up the way we want, leading into KYC. We're leading into phase 2 now, starting to build more of a community side of it. We're looking for people to help grow Cyberlead, kind of get the word out, maybe lead some social media side. We'll get to that more later. But so we're entering phase 2. And Jeff, I know you have something you want to say about exactly.
Okay, so right here, we get a lot of questions about how we're going to create the community or how this all works. And we have this 3 little triangle that we've created, and athletes, fans, and entertainers. And pretty much here, like what happens is what we see in most of these esports or gaming leagues in general is that the players play, and then the good players start to get really good and leverage. They get higher in the leagues, the tournaments they win. Well, the players that aren't as good start watching them, become fans of good players. Also, some of those players become broadcasters, streamers, and then they entertain fans. So there's this big old circle that we can create. Nobody's done that yet. And we're trying to essentially do that right now, is to build this huge ecosystem to put all the people into place so we can essentially make esports a home for gamers instead of just a title that people throw around.
This is something we kind of seen spring up all over esports. You'll get these little circles, little patterns that come up, and a community will pop up, and it'll go from 500 to 10,000 people overnight. But it dies just as quick because they're not connecting the dots here. It's all based off, these are our pros, and we need you fans to watch us. We're trying to integrate all of it, and that's kind of the point we're going at with this. Next slide, please. Yeah. This part. So why we're looking for community leads in the Constellation program, because we're looking for people who know the technology. You guys know this technology. You're not just gamers. Some of you are not just gamers. There are gamers out there, and the ones they know the technology and they know the gaming side. And those are gonna be their strongest community leads, our strongest admins. And we're really looking for some cool people to kind of fill in the gaps. We have a lot of open positions at the moment. We're a small team, and we're putting out a lot of work, and we could use any kind of help. So feel free to reach out. You can find me on Twitter. Probably the best place to get a hold of me is on Discord. I'm on that probably 18, 20 hours a day, 7 days a week. Yeah, I just want to give one last thanks to the Constellation Flight Program for allowing me this experience to share about Cyberlete and what they've provided for us. Thanks, guys.
Thank you guys so much for the opportunity.
Heck yeah. I love this. I'm so stoked. Man, I don't know. As a guy that understands certain gaming studios allow for cross-platform, I'll be on my Xbox playing Sea of Thieves, but somebody's got a PC version. We're playing in the same arena, and they've got machine guns that don't belong on on sailboats, right? And so that's a good example of the cheating type of aspect that basically causes me to rage quit. I know anybody in gaming understands what it's like to rage quit. So I wanted to go ahead and go back over to sharing my screen, which is here. Perfect. Great. So yes, as you saw here today, we have everything just out of these 35 companies. We've showcased 3 today, one in the biometric space, one in the ticketing fan experience, and bringing that data pollination across many different data points to fruition, and then ending in things such as gamer fraud and bringing new rewards programs to those that are incentivized for good behavior, which is awesome. It just shows the breadth of what we're working with across all these amazing companies. I did want to state what we've got going moving forward to set expectations of the flight program. Again, we're just wrapping up now the 3rd section, heading into that 13th week in the next few weeks here to conclude it. And we're looking at launching the another version of this in some sort, more of an evolved version in Q1. We felt like it might be a little bit much asking companies to participate in something over the holiday season. We know better than that. But in the meantime, in Q4, I'm working on putting together private workshops that may be available outside of those that were already in the V1 accelerator. So we will evangelize that to see if folks want to get involved in some of those private workshops in the specific areas of business, technology, token economics, and community. So just wanted to set those expectations. But with that, also, we are working with a little bit of a let's learn how to do some jazz dancing here as we learn from this. But so far, it's been fantastic. So with that, are you interested? Do you want to get involved and be informed? Perfect. Go to our website up in the right-hand corner there. You submit your project, takes you to this page, and there's that yellow text down there with some links that allow you a form to get us your information. Naturally, you can also reach out to any of us via email or on Telegram, and we can get you plugged into that form so that you're aware of when that stuff is coming down the pipe. So just want to make sure that folks know that this is an evolution. And I am so proud of this first company of diving into this stuff and getting their hands dirty. Folks are constantly showing me their whiteboards of them learning what we're digesting and rewatching these videos out there on like such things as token economics. And so big ups on those that have trusted us to guide you through this. And now they're starting to see the real power of HGTP within their project workflow. So with that, I know that I just want to ask for a little grace here because I know I wasn't even on the Hypergraph last hour and I mentioned something about light nodes. I was expecting that to be this week, but I also forgot all about that I was presenting this. So that's on me. That's not to mean that we're not still going to show off light nodes. That stuff is coming. In full candor, I've seen some of this material over the last few months, and I think it's some of the most exciting stuff of our technology. The use cases are insane. I've got some stuff on the federal side that complements it that I've got up my sleeves, and I'm really excited to show that. But just to ground something in reality here that is a true date, that isn't something me getting confused in a flyby, is we are doing cross-chain swaps demo on Wednesday, September 29th, 2 weeks from today on the Hypergraph Hour. This is huge. There's no one else in the market that can demo what you're going to see on this Hypergraph Hour. This is a big deal. I know that there was a video that recently got pushed out about Lattice explained in 15 minutes. If those that haven't been able to dredge that up, maybe some community members can start posting that in Telegram. Get excited to see what this is what's possible with Lattice, powered by HGTP with our L0 capabilities. So I did want to ground that because I know people were asking about it. I just want to ask for some apologies that maybe I was speaking out of line on when things are. We got a lot going on. We actually, through this effort, have attracted some really great new talent. We have a massive engineer coming in from Bloomberg that we're really excited to lead our data scientist efforts. So we're going to be showcasing some of that as we move forward. But I did want to ground this back to get some expectations out there. So with that, I know Jorgensen, I know you're on the phone. If you're creeping in the corner and if you want to say anything and just to bring this home, if there's anything you want to share that maybe I missed.
Yeah, I just wanted to say how incredible the program has been going, and hats off to you, Benjamin, for really driving this accelerator cohort. It's been amazing seeing these companies grow. I remember when they were applying, and last couple of weeks we've had really dynamic conversations around like really in-depth questions around tokenomics. And so it's really awesome to see this next tranche of companies that are coming into the cryptocurrency space. It's really exciting for us. It really matches our vision. Hearing these companies here today was really incredible. And Benjamin and I kind of worked behind the scenes to put this together today, to really kind of give the community a little glimpse of what's going on behind the scenes. There is a lot going on behind the scenes beyond just the United States Air Force. And so I'm really excited. I love the depth and intellectual level that every project that's in the accelerator is bringing to the table. It's allowing us to kind of see what's out in the space and kind of push the needle. I'm also getting really excited for Wednesday, September 29th. I think it's going to be a big reveal in conjunction with what Diggles has mentioned. We're going to be providing a roadmap that really walks through Mainnet 2.0 and what's to come in the future, which I think is some of the most incredible stuff. We're going to be bringing on a project to talk through a state channel and how it applies to their use case. So with all of that, there's going to be a lot to listen into on Wednesday, September 29th. And looking at September 15th today, I'm already ready for October. October is going to include a rather big announcement that we've been building up for. So great job, Benjamin, and really excited for the next couple of weeks.
Appreciate you, buddy. All right. Well, before I conclude, I just want to remind everybody that when we post this video up on YouTube, we will be including links from all the companies on how to get involved. Don't just go into Telegram and start slapping questions in the Constellation channel asking about these projects details, unless it's for the intention to get into their Telegram channel and start getting that community going, because that's really what's going to be a big boost to the success of these companies, getting that feedback, but also that weigh-in and potentially seeing if people want to get involved. To Cyberlete's point, they're looking for some good admins that if you're passionate about gaming and you're passionate about what we're doing in the blockchain space, that's a perfect home for you. Same for those that are passionate about the fan experience, or biometrics. What I love about that infrastructure play from Finnovant, like I said, it could be used in pretty much every aspect of whatever project's coming out there, because
point for everybody for that.
That's right. We need that level of security. And as you can tell from Cody and team, we have some of the smartest people in the business working on this. So yep, that's it, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us on the 29th to have your mind blown. And we're looking forward to it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, guys.